Let's talk trade deadline, Brad. So let's start with who needs what. And I went pretty top heavy in my analysis here for the simple fact that the Yankees, the Dodgers, and the Mets, they're all going to win their division.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all, at this point in the race, favorites to go to the World Series on some level, right? They just are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I listed them first. And I in fact, I limited all of my trade deadline talks to these people, these teams, because I don't care about anybody else. And I don't think our listeners care about anybody else either. I think we all know who's who in the zoo, and we're feeling smug. So
you're probably right, though, because honestly, like our Yankee stuff does better than anybody else. And then you've got the Dodgers. That's another huge market. And the Mets are going to do really well, too. So, I mean, I get it.
And I've been predicting the Mets aren't. They're not going to miss the bed
approach, right?
I don't know, but it works. Here you are. Who needs what? Okay, the Yankees, they need an outfield bat with solid defensive capabilities. All of Yankeedom wants Joey Gallo out.
Well, so I was actually looking at the Yankees roster, like their lineup today, and the fact that they have him batting 9, like I know he's not the same Joey Gallo of a couple of years ago, but I was like, man, he would still be batting 3rd in Texas if he was there.
Oh yeah, for
like,
sure.
They would be adamant that he would be batting 3rd.
That's a testament to how good the Yankees are right now. I mean, they're just insane. They're insane. Right. It's a special team this year.
And I wonder, and I do wonder real quick, though, with Gallo, I wonder if that's part of the problem, though, is that some guys strive in certain parts of the lineup.
Yep.
Right? That 9 might be like some kind of mental block for him, that he can't bat that low in the order.
Could be.
So maybe he just needs to go somewhere else.
Well, but so Aaron Hicks has been having major problems until recently. And then we got a couple of flashes in the pan from Hicks, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. You can stay. But that's it. That's how the fans are reacting to performance right now. It's like, don't mess with this. If you're not contributing, you're gone. And there's a really harsh tone in the bleachers, the bleacher creatures.
It's funny because Aaron Hicks, like after games, is like public enemy number 1 on Twitter all the time. Anytime there's a loss, it's Aaron Hicks. Like, when are we trading Aaron Hicks? When can we DFA
Joey
Aaron
Gallo?
Hicks?
That's right.
And Joey Gallo.
That's exactly right. And so, and you know what? It just is what it is. But Hicks has started to maybe turn things around and redeem himself. The point is, the Yankees need to leave Aaron Judge in center field. Let him be happy. Let him continue to do a great job there, etc. And just let the mojo go. So I don't think they need a center fielder. A lot of people are saying we need a more reliable center fielder. I'm like, why?
Judge is having a career year playing center field.
He is. And by the way, he's the Chief Justice of the Supreme Sport. Okay, so you just leave him there. If he's good at it, that's been my nickname for him since he was a rookie and went on that home run tear. The Chief Justice of the Supreme Sport. Yeah, put that in your prayer and ponder it. Anyway, so let's move on to the Dodgers. The other thing the Yankees could use is a bullpen insurance arm. That would be purely injury prevention. Yeah, that's all it is. And otherwise, it's the best bullpen maybe in a decade. I don't know. The outfield contributors. Okay, so moving on to Los Angeles, the Dodgers in LA. They need outfield contributors. We're talking Mookie Betts is out. Cody Bellinger sucks at baseball. They have problems all over the place. So they also need replacement pitching and relief support. Walker Buehler's out. Nobody knows who the other guy is because he was acquitted and he still doesn't play baseball. So he doesn't play either. Yeah. So they need pitching support and they need some relief support as well. The relief support that I think they need in the bullpen has more to do with injuries and making sure that this bullpen isn't carrying the starting rotation as much as they have been recently. I think that's the biggest problem that they're up against now. So they just need more bodies to move around in the bullpen that can do better, or they replace what's going on in the starting rotation.
Yeah, and the Mets, outfield, hold on, with the Dodgers, their outfield there are significant issues there though. Like without Mookie Betts and like you're saying with Cody Bellinger, like it's not just good team problems, right? It's
Nope.
that they have a center fielder who is a shell of himself when he was an MVP. And then you've got
Yep.
Gavin Lux, who they've thrown out there because he seems to have issues playing infield, but he's
Yeah.
still not a great outfielder. Like there
he's
are
not.
still issues there. So there are significant issues in the outfield, and I think that it could end up being their undoing late in the season. And the Padres could stick around and catch them because of those issues if they don't fill in those holes. And it's going to be hard for them to fill in those holes because a lot of teams that have quality outfielders are not going to be willing to give guys up unless, Brig, one guy they could pick up is the Brewers DFA'd Lorenzo Cain.
That's right. That is exactly right. And we're going to get into who's available in a minute. But the Mets, really the only thing I can see that the Mets absolutely have to have is starting pitching. Otherwise, they're doing fine. But if they can't replace, because Max Scherzer seems to be on the move and on his way back, he seems to be doing well. DeGrom he has a baseball in his hand now, but that's it. There's no movement forward. There's no progress being made in his rehabilitation. Scherzer is making moves, and that guy's he's gonna come back, and it's gonna be fine. DeGrom, no idea. So
I wonder if their approach with DeGrom is we're not gonna bring him back until we need him. Once things start to look like we need him, we'll bring him back. Or you just sit him down and say, okay, you sprint August, September, October. You pitch three good months for us, and we'll win a ring. I wonder if that's their approach.
So how do you ramp up a guy like DeGrom for a 3-month sprint? After he's literally sitting around until now.
Right. I think next week you've got to get him into minor league games next week.
If you can, if he's healthy enough.
Yeah. Well, I think at the absolute latest you have him in minor league games at the All-Star break.
By the break, yeah.
But yeah,
and put him in a double-A situation and see how he does.
Yeah.
Maybe start him at low A, but I'd put him in double. Just put him in double A.
Yeah.
See how he goes.
Put him in double A for a couple. Put him in double A for a week, triple A for a week, and then get him back in August.
Yeah. Unless there's major problems, and then you're really in trouble.
Right. Yes.
Then you got to do some development work and hope for the playoffs and put him on the 60-man.
Because losing
40-man.
Losing can gain momentum, especially with the Mets.
Stop it. They're not going to met the bed, Brad.
History.
I know it's true, but they're not going to do it.
I don't think they will.
So who's available? Who's on the move? Okay, who's hot to move? You mentioned Lorenzo Cain. Where did that come from?
Why did they DFA him? I don't know. It happened though on his 10th, like the day he got 10 years of MLB service time, which is pretty cool that they waited. Because
it is cool.
Because what that means is that now he gets a full pension when he retires. So that's cool on them for doing that. And it was like a mutual thing, I guess. But at the same time, though,
organizational respect.
If I need an outfielder, I'm picking him up.
Well, and two of the teams I just mentioned need him.
Right. He was one of the best players, one of the best outfielders in the game, 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
3
like
maybe,
that.
But yeah.
So I think he's still got something in the tank. He just needs to change the scenery. I think he'll be fine.
So, which of these markets would you put him in, LA or New York?
LA.
Where does he thrive? LA? Me too. That's exactly what I would say.
Yeah. Because he's been Kansas City and Milwaukee. He has not.
Yes.
He has not done the harsh market like New York. I think he would. I think he would do better. It'd be a much softer landing spot in LA.
100% agree with you. Love it. Let's talk about Wilson Contreras. He has one more year on his contract. Do you think anybody picks him up as a rental?
2 weeks ago, I would have said Seattle needs him, but not so much anymore. Like I said, Cal Raleigh has been money. Yeah. Way better defensively, hitting the cover off the ball. I don't know if anybody picks him up, honestly. The Yankees are set. The Blue Jays are set. Maybe the Red Sox. Maybe
Christian Vasquez. He's their everyday guy.
Yeah, he is, and he's good.
He's solid. He's not a bad player. He's not. Yeah. There's no issues with Christian as far as I can see.
Yeah, they're certainly not going to send him to Milwaukee because Milwaukee has some issues at catcher. A little not like major issues.
They're not going to send him to Milwaukee,
but he would be an upgrade, and they're definitely not going to send him to Milwaukee.
No.
The Braves are fine. The Mets are fine.
Cardinals
Dodgers
are
are fine.
Dodgers are fine.
Maybe the Padres.
Yeah, I was going to say who's in San Diego and who's in San Francisco.
The Padres have one of the Nola brothers.
Austin
Nola. Yeah,
Austin Nola.
He would certainly be an upgrade over him, even though Austin Nola has really. I think it might be a chemistry thing why they don't move on from Austin Nola.
Maybe.
But
we just talked to Samson about that, and he said it doesn't matter.
That's true. Yeah.
So
because Wilson
really
Contreras is about 10 steps up from Austin Nola.
At least 10
on both sides of the ball
every time.
So it might be the place. I'd do it.
Who's in San Francisco right now? I don't know. Let me look.
They have, I think they have a rookie right now.
Yeah.
Catching for them because, I mean, obviously they don't have Buster Posey this year. So I'm pretty sure they have
Bart.
Yes.
Joey Bart. They just optioned him to AAA a couple of days ago and put in Austin Wynns as a replacement. And he was a pickup.
And this is one of the things with the Giants too, is that they are not playing well right now.
Yeah, you're right.
So, I mean, they're still 39-33, which is fine.
Yeah,
but at the same time, in that division, it's not good enough because they're 6.5 back.
Yeah, it's not good enough. Okay. Let's move on. Ian Happ. The Chicago Cubs have Ian Happ. Do you see him going anywhere? We're talking about bats right now, obviously. So Ian Happ is a capable baseball player, in case those of you maybe forgot. He happens to be an outfielder, in case you guys don't know. And he currently plays for the ever-sinking Chicago Cubs, I guess is the best way to say it.
They are ever sinking, you're right.
It is a huge problem. Now, his last few at-bats have been terrible. He went 0 for 5 on the 26th and 0 for 3 on the 25th, 1 for 4 on the 24th, all against the Cardinals. But defensively, there's not a liability there as far as I'm aware. Are you aware of any defensive liabilities?
No, I'm not aware. And I know the best spot for him.
Where?
New York. With the Yankees. He can handle it. He can handle batting the bottom of the order if that's what it takes. He's the guy to fill that hole. There are enough bats in that lineup to make up for his offensive. What?
279 right now. He's batting 279.
That's not bad, though.
It's not that bad.
In today's game, I'd take 279 in Seattle right now. Shoot.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't rate too well against everybody else on the team, but
But like I'm saying, you can bat him ninth and you're fine. And then you've got a solid defender.
Joey Gallo out of there, and there's no problems.
Yep.
The other guy who's available right now, who's also an outfielder, is Andrew Benintendi, playing in Kansas City, and he is I would say tradable. Currently, currently out of the 70 games he's played in so far, his batting average is at 295, 42 strikeouts. Only 3 home runs. Again, I see this guy as a ninth in the lineup kind of guy, just like you say with Ian Happ. And Benintendi has played in Fenway, right? He was in the Red Sox organization for a really long time.
He's familiar.
He understands a harsh market. He knows what it's like to play under a lot of pressure. And I think he's wasting away in Kansas City right now. He's a much better ball player and he's a terrific defensive guy. Mm-hmm. So I think that he could end up in LA, he could end up in New York, and it would be a great fit for him either way.
It would be. I think the problem with trading, like getting Benintendi for any team, is that if you care about your farm system, that's not the deal to make because that's what the Royals are going to want. They're going to want a minor league haul for him
and cash considerations for that new ball field they want to build.
Yeah, so like Seattle, like I would never have Seattle trade for Benintendi because they're going to want too many guys out of the farm system.
Strip it, yeah.
Maybe in New York where they're like, yeah, we just bring in vets anyway, right? And have a couple of prospects come up here and there. Like might work. Same thing in LA because they're not real prospect heavy. So
Yeah.
I'd like to see
There's
him
a
in
couple
Dodger
of
blue.
Well, and I wouldn't mind seeing him in the Yankees pinstripes, to be honest
There
with
you
you.
go. Yeah. He'd be another one of those Boston Yankee guys.
Exactly. And that doesn't hurt my feelings. Okay. Let's talk about arms. Okay, available pitchers. We have Frankie Montas plays for Oakland, Luis Castillo in Cincinnati, Pablo Lopez in Miami, and Martin Perez in Texas are all possible trade chips going into this trade deadline. So, and every one of the teams that I listed that are at the top of the heap right now, they all need arms at some point in some position.
Yeah, everybody needs arms. Anybody
And
who's going to
everybody
contend
does.
is going to need another arm.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think we need to really get into who fits best where on this list, just that there are 4 really good pitchers
Frankie
available
Montas
right now.
is legit too.
He's legit. And so is Perez.
So good. Yeah.
And so is Castillo. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're good.
If I'm Miami, I keep Pablo Lopez. Keep him. Because you've got a team who's on the fringe.
Yeah.
Like if you give that team another year of major league experience, they could probably make the wild card next year, I would think.
They could.
They're not going to this year, but they could next year.
Pick up a senior leader to back things up a little bit.
They've got senior leaders. They've got Jorge Soler on that team.
That's right. Soler. I forget about him because it's in Miami. I don't
know. Yeah.
Sorry.
But
it's true.
But no, I think they could. They've got a lot of talent on that team. And they're being pests in the NL East. So
they are.
I think they could.
They're pests.